Hello people, I'm the Rokonk Gamer, and today I'm just going to be going over a bunch of stuff of why I like Hush. I'm going to be kind of going all over the place, talking about why he's one of my favorite Batman villains, because he is, and he's just such a great villain. He's done so much stuff over the years for not having been a Batman villain for very long. Like, he premiered in, I think it was 2001 when Batman Hush came out, and since then he's done like considerably a lot, like even more you could say than some villains that have been around for like way longer. Hush has done a lot to affect Batman, and he's one of my favorite Batman villains. So yeah, let's talk about why he's one of my favorites. So Hush's first appearance, Batman Hush, that is my favorite Batman storyline with Bruce Wayne as Batman, not including Dick Grayson Batman storylines, because then Black Mirror is my favorite Batman storyline. But anyways, Batman Hush is my favorite Bruce Wayne Batman story. It's amazing. It's got like everything I love in it. A lot of people didn't like it because at the end, spoilers, if you haven't read a book from 2001, that's your own fault. But anyways, it turns out the Riddler was behind everything. He was using Hush a lot in that book. Like, he was the mastermind behind everything, which I loved. I thought it was kind of genius how they did that, because the Riddler was like the last person you suspect, especially because early on they already like threw suspicion away from him, because they're like, oh, it's not the Riddler, and then like you figure out that, oh well, it actually is, and like it was done really well, and I liked it. But a lot of people thought, oh, it discredited Hush, it made Hush pointless, and he was like, he was just a stupid character, and he was just being used. Now there is some thought to that, like there is some truth to that in that book, but I was fine with it because like I thought it was genius how the Riddler was used, and then later up they made for it in so many other stories to where they made Hush a badass, and he like just destroys Batman in so many different ways. But in that book, what I absolutely love about it is like the ending. The ending shows the lasting effect that Hush has on Batman, because throughout the book you see that Batman's like severely actually fallen in love with Catwoman, because there have been several women over the years that Batman has been like, this is my favorite right now, then this one is, and at the time Catwoman was Batman's girl. This was the one where Batman's like really falling head over heels for her. He's starting to trust her, secret identity and everything, all that stuff. And then by the end of the book, she utters one word, and that changes everything. And Batman's like, nope, 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 she's not the one for, nope, that's it, nope. Because earlier on in the book, he's like, I really like this girl, I love her, I'm going to tell her my secret identity, all this other stuff. And then by the end, he's like, nope, because of one word. She says hush. She says hush to him. That's what she tells him. A common word, nothing fancy, nothing weird, nothing like if anyone says hush to you, you might be like, how dare you tell me to hush, but you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, they said that word. But because she says that one little word, it gets into Batman's head, and he's willing to drop everything, even though he had fallen in love with this woman. And that shows the like severe psychological effect that Hush had on Batman, just for that little bit, just for one storyline. Batman is not able to trust this woman that he'd fallen in love with just because of she uttered one word. That shows the effect that Hush had on him. I thought that was pretty cool, and that's just in the first storyline that Hush showed up in, and that's the one where everyone was like, no, Hush didn't really do anything, where he did do a lot of stuff, but yeah, it was Riddler who was behind everything. And then you have Hush Returns, which was a book that a lot of people hated. I have a theory as to why people hated it. I thought it was a good book. I don't think it's one of the greats. It's definitely not like one of the greatest Batman books ever, but it is good. I think it's a solid Batman book. It's basically sort of an apology, like an apology for Batman Hush, for like, oh, we're sorry what we did with Riddler being behind that. Here's this book. And it's pretty good. It's not, again, it's not like amazing or anything, but it's good. And it's Hush like being a badass going throughout Gotham, establishing that he is one of the new villains and he is a force to be reckoned with. So without going into every little detail of this book of what happens, the basic premise is the Riddler used Hush in his first appearance. So now Hush wants to kill the Riddler, but the Riddler is under Joker's protection. The reason he's under Joker's protection is because this book takes place in like to where like the Killing Joke is 100% like canon, like that is the Joker. You know how the Killing Joke, like it's a canon book, but that origin isn't necessarily canon for Joker. It's like, oh, if I had a backstory, I'd prefer it to be multiple choice. So it's like, oh, that could be true, that could be not. He could have a difference. He could have a different origin. We don't know. Well, this book has it to where like Joker's origin in the Killing Joke, that's it. That's fact. That 100% happened to him. And so in this, we see that Riddler, the reason he's under Joker's protection is because he knows who killed Riddler's wife. Because it's like, oh no, this like stove blew up or whatever, and that's what killed her, and that's what happened. But it turns out it was a dirty cop that killed her. Like, he set that whole thing up to have her killed. To have like the stove go off and explode and her die. Like, some dude set that up. It was a dirty cop. And Edward Nygma, aka Riddler, saw that, because he was like, he lived in like the building across from Joker's apartment, and he saw that happen, and then he saw the cop and like knew, and figured out his name. And so he has information that Joker wants because he knows the name of the man who killed Joker's wife. And so that's why he's under Joker's protection. So in the in this book, you have that Joker versus Hush. In the beginning, Joker just like dismantles Hush. Like, Hush is going through and he's like, okay, Riddler's mine. You can have him one side, like, once I'm done with him, you can have his carcass or whatever. And then Joker is not having any of that. And he's like, no, he's under my protection. And so he just has his men beat the crap out of him and, like, throw Hush on the street. To where later, Hush gets Joker alone, absolutely destroys him, and tells him that this is his city and that he does not care at all about Joker, that Joker's some 2-bit hack and he's washed up and he doesn't give a crap about anything about Joker, about whatever Joker wants to do. He doesn't care. And then he orders Prometheus to kill him, but Prometheus misses point blank against the Joker because it's comics and people can't hit anything even from point blank range when a guy is laying on his back. But anyways, Joker escapes into like a manhole, and that's like the last you see of Joker in the book. But yeah, so Hush took Joker, the #1 like crime lord in Gotham, like the biggest Batman villain, and he was like during this book he was like the #1 crime lord in Gotham. Anyways, the biggest Batman villain, he takes him and he just treats him like he's nothing, like he's street trash, because that's how awesome Hush is, and I love that part. I think that's part of why people didn't like this book, because Joker is like so much on a pedestal. To see this newer, like this is like I believe this was like Hush's second appearance in Hush Returns, I believe this was. But anyways, to see like a guy in his like second appearance just absolutely destroy Joker, who's the biggest Batman villain and the biggest villain in all of comics, let's be honest, to just do that and like beat him up on the street and just tell him how he's worthless and how this is Hush's city, I think that might have rubbed some fans the wrong way, and they might not have been happy to see their precious Joker get completely destroyed by Hush. That's a theory from me about part of why people might not have liked this book. There are probably other reasons as well, but I think that's a little part of it. Anyways, moving on. And then later on, you have stuff like Heart of Hush, where Hush cuts out Catwoman's heart. Yep, he straight up goes into her apartment, like attacks her, stabs her, then cuts her heart out. And that's how he messes with Batman in that book. Like, who else could do that? What other Batman villain could do that? Because he's such a great surgeon, he's able to cut her heart out and keep her alive and, like, have it on a string for Batman. Like, I think that was amazing how he did that. And the idea that Paul Dini had for that, to be like, oh, what if Hush cut Catwoman's heart out? I thought that was cool, because I don't know, I just didn't see anyone else, like, thinking of that. To have Hush cut Catwoman's heart out. And Heart of Hush is probably like my second favorite Hush storyline. It's great. And at the end of that, Hush takes on the entire Bat family, well, most of the Bat family, in the Bat Cave. And then, like, his like mummy bandages get caught in like a helicopter, and so that's like how he gets taken out. That part was kind of lame, but it was cool seeing him in the Batcave take on the Bat family. But yeah, his mummy wraps that are on his head get like stuck in a helicopter blade. But up until then, he was pretty badass in that book, and him cutting out Catwoman's heart was like, yeah, very interesting. And then you have other stuff that he's done, like when Final Crisis happened. If you don't know what happened in Final Crisis, Batman shoots Darkseid, and so Batman gets sent to the past. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's what happens because he got hit by like Darkseid's Omega beams, and they sent him back to the past. And it's retarded, but it happened. It was a thing, and it was pretty cool actually when it happened. So yeah, during that, everyone's like, "Oh no, Batman's dead. What should we do?" And so during that, Bruce Wayne was also gone. Mysteriously, Batman Bruce Wayne disappeared at the same time. So this guy that looks exactly like Bruce Wayne comes in and is like, "Hey, I'm Bruce Wayne." Turns out it's Tommy Elliott, and he's able to do whatever he wants, while the Bat family is like Dick Grayson, Alfred, and Damian, all them. They're trying to be like, what do we do here? Because you can't exactly just punch Hush in the face and be like, "Ha, suck on that, Tommy Elliott." You can't do that, because from the public eye, it looks like you just punched Bruce Wayne in the face, and it's like, what is going on here? So you can't do that. So they like struggle this whole time while Tommy Elliott's kind of just living the Bruce Wayne life, having like the life he always wanted for a bit, you know, since his whole thing was being jealous of Bruce's parents dying. Yeah, that shows you how messed up this guy is. He was jealous because Bruce's parents died. Because Bruce suddenly got all the money and got everything, and that's what Tommy Elliott wanted. He wanted his parents to die, and that's why he set them up to die. So yeah, that's just what this video is about. I just wanted to explain why Tommy Elliott, aka Hush, is one of my favorite Batman villains, and I hope to see him back soon. In some Bat books. I'm hoping maybe in All-Star Batman they'll bring him back, because I'd love to see Scott Snyder's take on Hush. I think that could be really interesting, considering right now I think he's the best Batman writer. And I don't know, maybe I haven't really been keeping up with the Bat books and Rebirth. I've been reading some Nightwing, but that's it. But outside of Nightwing, I haven't really read much of like any. Well, I read like the first story arc of All-Star Batman. I've read Nightwing. And that's kind of it as far as the Bat books go in Rebirth. So I don't know if like they're planning on bringing Hush back or anything in Rebirth, but I'd love to see an All-Star Batman Hush come back, because I want to see Scott Snyder's take on Hush. But anyways, please let me know in the comments below. What do you think of Hush? Do you think he's cool? Do you think he's overrated? What are your thoughts on him? Anyways, also let me know in the comments below, what's your favorite Hush storyline? My personal favorite is definitely Batman Hush, his premiere, but then Heart of Hush is a close second favorite, because in that one he actually like does more stuff, whereas Batman Hush was Riddler was behind all of it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.